So hello, as we have learned about the Linux file management yesterday, I have forgotten to tell a simple topic about it. That is the hidden files. Hidden files are the files which are hidden in the parental files. We will learn about it in the next videos. But now I can tell about it is, if we want to create a hidden file, we need to create it by keeping a dot before the file name. So in the graphical interference or in the terminal, we can create a hidden file by saying, if we get the command starting of that and dot file1, so it will be created in the directory but as an hidden file. So this directory will become the parental file. The parental file I will explain it about in the later videos. But now we will move on to some of the commands that we can save the file or create the file or create the file with data. Okay, now we can go to the first one, command cat. Cat is a format of command which we can save the data in the file. First we can create the file or save the file by using the control plus D. So the control plus D is used to save the file. In that the file is saved in the directory, so that now we can add the information to the file by doing this type of command. So if we know that, as I said earlier, cat is the main function or the main purpose to add the data to the file. So now we have an example like the cat data or the cat command will allow the file to accept the data to enter allow it. So we need to type like that, cat upper space or greater than symbol file1, and we can type the more information that is needed to be entered into the file1. So if we see afterwards, if we say ls means list, in that long ll, in that file1, so we can see that the directory will have the name file1, so that in that if we see the commands in the list, so we can see that the data now I have said, that is the cat command will be using for that one will be there in the that one where we can see in the file1. So file1 is being created by now this time. We can do it without any data in the file. That is, that command is touch, touch. If we enter the command touch touch, we can add the file to the directory without any data. So we can add the data afterwards, or we can change or alter the data afterwards. But if we want to add the data while entering the file or saving the file, we can use the command catch. So now we are moving on to the next topic, displaying the file content. So if you want to see, as I said earlier, you have given the file1 name and you have entered it with the cat command. So if you want to see that data, you need to type the cat space file name, so that you can see the entered data or the information which is present in the file1. We cannot use this type of command for touch, because we don't have any sort of data or any sort of information in that file. So if you can use it, but it will not come anything, any outcome will be not there out of it. So next we can go to the data counting or number of words or lines or something. We can, if I have given an example that before I have given that one, which is the topic I am telling of, is the bits which are been counting, as I said yesterday, it will be only given in the format of bits. So if it is in the format of bits, how will we know that how many lines or how many words or how many groups are there in that? So we need to know how many number of characters, words and lines are there in the file. So if you want to know it, we will go for the command of WC, which is meant to see how many words or letters that are specifically mentioned in the file that we asked for. So we have asked for the file1. So WC file1 means it will give the output that, as I given the example, that is the cat file command is used to add data in the file simultaneously. This is the example I have given for the data1 or file1. So now for this we will get the answer for the command WC file1 is 1, 12, 64. These are the formatical numbers which are not necessarily to be recognized or to be there in your mind, but it is an example, so I am telling the numbers. So these are the numbers. One represents the number of lines in the file. So I have told everything in a single line. So this is one line. This has one line. We have 12 words which I have said. Means the cat file command is to add data in file simultaneously. 12 words. And we have 64 characters in 12 words. So these are the format that it will be shown. So this is the concept of seeing or creating or serving or using the file that we could learn in the file management. So after we have seen something or used something, we will generally delete or remove some of the files which we don't need or which we used, which we do not use in the further process. So to delete the files, we will take the command rm. Rm means removing the file. Removing the file can be done by the command rm space the file name. Means only one file, that file will be removed from the directory. Or else we can remove multiple files like rm space file 1, file 2, file 3, so on, like that. How many files if you want to delete, you can delete by that. Every file will be which you have mentioned will be deleted by that time. You see that rm, you need to give that space and this one. Okay. For the removing all the data which is present in the directories, you can give rm space star or star symbol. Basically the star symbol will be decided to remove all the data that is present in the file. That is the main concept of this command rm. So we can now create a file. We can now remove a file, but we can rename the file or rename the already name that is present in the file. So if we want to give the file a new name, we can go to the main in the terminal. We can go to the wait a minute. We can go to the change of the directory, cd. In the change of the directory, you can rename the file by telling it out by, you can give the first already given name and space and the new name with reverse slash. Reverse slash will be given for the space in the directory. Means if you want to give the space in the directory's name, like for suppose we will use in our Windows, we will use the file to be created as the my name is Vinay, so Vinay's directory. If we want to give the space Vinay space directory, we will use completely by using spacebar in the Windows. But now as we are entering the name, we cannot give like that. So what we will do is Vinay -/ or reverse slash directory, so that it will be created by that name. So as I have said earlier, the hidden files can be created here. So if I want to save something in Vinay's directory, I can give that Vinay's directory plus space dot the file 1. So the file 1 will be saved in the Vinay's directory. Okay, I am the user, but I can use the file 1, but standard user cannot use it because I have not given any permission. The permission is in the concept, we will go into that. So I have not given any sort of permission for that. So in this, the dot or double dot, so there are two concepts. Double dot is my parental file. Parental file means Vinay's directory. Single dot is to hidden file. Means if I want to hide a file, I will give dot file 1. Double dot Vinay's directory dot file 1 will store the file 1 in Vinay's directory. So that is the concept of hidden file and hidden file location, and how to save it, and how to not give the powers or permission by using the user's command or user's permission for standard user or root user. I am the root user, so I can use my sort of information, but I couldn't let other anybody else than me. So if I want to stream some files in Linux, so that streaming of files means if we have something information in one file, we cannot directly see the information, because as I had said, standard user has the limitations that cannot be used for some extent. So they will be adding three types of commands: stdin, stdin out, stderr. stdin is the refer to the basic standard input, so that this description or descriptor is 0. Standard out, std out, standard output, that means the descriptor will have the number 1, stderr, that means that is the standard error in the file or the context which we have referred to the file. It will show the number descriptor 2. Basically the descriptor means it is an unique identifier in a file that will locate as any sort of errors or inputs or outputs that are required by the user. So if an user asks something about the file, it will not show the information, but it will show the any sorts of how many, as I said earlier, in a file how many lines we can see, how many words or how many characters. Like that we can see these types of information, like any standard inputs are there for the file, standard outputs are there for the file, or any standard errors are there in the file, so that the user can rectify it. These are the Linux streaming files. So the streaming of files is done by this. So this is the basic knowledge about the Linux file management, so that everything up to here is being created or removed or hidden by the user, that is root user, not standard user. Standard user can use only the directories or the saved information before or after without any changes. Okay, that is the Linux file management. So moving on to the topic, Linux file permissions. Linux file permissions, as I said earlier, there are two types of users, that is root user and order user, standard user. There are several types of permissions in the Linux permission files. So as a root user root user is an owner. So there are two types of categories. Standard user is also a owner for only his file, but root user can use entire his own file up to the owner's information. So as we see here, there are different types of permissions. There are owner permission. Owner should give the permission to access his data in separate directory or separate files. So if the owner does not give you the permission, nobody can see the information in the owner's file. So this is called as the secured one or stable or the server, because this is the main concept of saying that. That is, owner has to give the permission for everyone and everything. If the owner of the file does not give you any access to it, you cannot see it or read it or write it or execute it. So owner permission is the first permission required for the seeing of the data. Next, group permission. The owner will allow some people, a group of people, to see his data, so that they can access to his data, and owner has to again give the permission that they could read or write or execute, but owner will give the access to just see the data that he has let them to see in the file, owner's file. Next permission, other permissions like universal users can be, means some of the data can be used by everybody. Like if we see in the Windows, a start button will be there in the every computer, but the main user in the if you before logging, if you see in that English if you see before logging into it, you can see that there are two types of users. Whenever you see in office purposes or school purposes or anywhere, there will be two types of users. One is standard user, which is given to you to learn or make something to do, which is already created by the user 2, that is root user. So as here also said, other permissions is given by the owner, but the owner can give all the permissions to the every person that can see the data that is saved by the owner. So these are the main three types of permissions that is given by the owner. Owner's permission is the main permission of these three. So the owner can also dictate or rule the permissions type. So if I had a text or a file or a directory, there are three types of commands that you can execute, or we can do that: read, write, and execute. So here the reading means they can only read the information. Write means they can rewrite the information or write the new information that is required for the owner. Okay. Third one is execute. Execute means they can read, they can write the instruction, and they can execute the instruction by the owner's permission. So these are the three types of permissions that the owner can give to the group companions or the people that they can see the information. So now if you see, as example, we can take that checking for the permission can be done by, see, we have four types of boxes. First one lets us to the group or a ownership, means which person has the rights to do the information. So if it has hyphen, it is file. If it has D, it is directory. Directory represents to the owner. File represents to the owner also. But in that we can only say that it has 10 bits. The 10 bits will be required by the owner to see first, because owner lets the group people or the other companions to see the information. So now you can see the hyphen is for file and D is for directory. The next block we have who is owning the file. It's obviously it will be the owner, because the owner will let you see the file. Next, what sort of executions does the owner can do? Owner can do all sort of executions: read, write, and execution. These three the owner can do. The next stage will be the group companions or the group permissions. The owner will give the permissions to the group so that it will be of read or write, or write or execute, or read or execute, like that. It will be there, so that if they can only do the work that it is allowed by the owner to do. The group will be close companions or the close people or the people that are really used to work with the information that is given by the owner. This is the group permissions column. Next, we will go to the fourth one. As I said earlier, other companions or other permissions. The other permissions are relatively very less compared to the group, because these are the outsiders or the people which use the information that is given by the actual owner. They don't have any connections in between the group or the anything with the other companions. Only the owner can say they can only read or write, or read. Maximum they will be only read or write, because there will be no point of execution given for the other companions, because they will be only using the information that is given by the owner. So these are the thoughts today I have learned for the class today. So you can learn new topics tomorrow. As I have forgotten anything, I will be recovering tomorrow, so that I will be telling that in the tomorrow class. Thank you. Bye.